10 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to ban. 10 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, and I do know that OG generally loves playing it. I think Lelis is a huge hero player. I'm sure that Daze can play it as well.
10
So
seconds remaining.
actually a pretty nice snipe by Nigma Galaxy, I think, on that ban. I think it was pretty likely to come out for OG. I think your bans against Nigma Galaxy are probably pretty set, at least, especially these first two. The Marcy, the Chen, you're never letting Ghost have the Marcy. You're never letting Toby have the Chen. So I think that is very normal and expected. One thing that is interesting that I don't know if it's noteworthy to Nigma Galaxy, but in their last series for OG, I believe it was all 3 games. They picked up their mid laner in the first phase, or I believe like on the 13th pick, so within like the relative first phase. So Stoikov, he's just been going just out there. I would not be surprised for him to pick 9 Storm Spirit, as he has been doing in multiple of these games. I think he's been picking up the Ember very early as well. Just any mid hero that he can get his hands on, it seems like he's been perfectly happy to play it. So I'm curious to see if they'll stick with that strategy. It didn't necessarily work for them the last time that they did it, but it is an interesting switch up to a lot of what we do typically see in drafting.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to ban.
Well,
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I mean, it is also an Omar Muerta, to be fair. I mean, and Toby, I think, can play it. So it is like an annoying flex that they can go for early. They drop the Lycan immediately, which I think makes sense. Noob is a great Lycan. I think this is one of his better heroes. And we've seen what the Lycan can do. Super annoying across the map in terms of the vision that it provides. As we saw in the previous game, eventually the Ag's Wolf Bite can be really potent with certain carries. Just a very, very nice hero to play with. I'm curious to see if OG respond at all with their own kind of, firepower to this. Do they go for the gyro right away to deal with it in lane? Do they go for something like a Beastmaster to match what the hero wants to do? Do they go straight into the Storm Spirit, like maybe expected for them? Because Storm is fine against Lycan. A couple of options here. I think this is going to set a pretty big tone for the rest of the series, and none of the above. They are going to surprise us with an Underlord, which I don't hate. Underlord is pretty good against Lycan for very obvious reasons. You can trap him in the pit, get a little mosh pit going for the wolves. Very annoying to maneuver around for that hero. And then obviously the atrophy aura is great into Lycan. You can go into Crimson rather early. So I don't mind this at all. I think that this is also probably something that OG can flex. I believe I've seen Shad. He does like some of these like unconventional carries, so keep it as a potential open flex. It's decently nice for them. It does mean Stoikov is going to lose his Storm. It's not going to have that one available at his hands, but I believe that recently he has been playing a decent bit of the Quap and the Ember as well, so he's probably not too upset.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's smart. I think this is probably the most important ban in the whole game.
Team's turn to ban.
They do go for the Pango, which I don't mind. This is it's pretty nice against the Lycan. It can be flexed as well, which is annoying to deal with. Here's another Stoikov hero. I don't maybe actually know if it was the best possible ban there, because I'm a little bit scared of Gyro coming out for Shad. Maybe they think that it's not that big of a deal, but I generally like having just the safety and the security of giving the Lycan a pretty decent lane.
Radiant team's turn to pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5
I
seconds
believe
remaining.
the nerf time I think was very small, so I don't think it affected him very much. He is incredibly strong. I'd say generally the top three that we're looking at for what I feel is like Jug, Ursa, Troll. But there's some pretty good kind of caveats to that. We've seen the Lifestealer I think has looked decent at times. Gyro I think has plenty of merit.
Dire teams
I think
turn to
Medusa is something that we could potentially see in the series. Do bring up the Hoodwink for the likes of OG. It makes perfect sense. Daze and Lelis both love playing this hero. No reason not to go into it. Is fine against the Lycan, all things considered. It does mean Snapfire is open. This potential Quap is open for Nigma Galaxy. Just to see what they actually value here. I believe maybe they'll want to play some form of Tusk. Although Tusk's not great into these heroes. Because I know they were playing a decent bit of Tusk for a time, but here's... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Omar can play it, but it's probably not the best for him. I think he's probably eyeing Omar. I think he is a little bit better at kind of the magic damage, like supports. So yeah, eyeing something like the Snapfire is obvious. I think he also used to enjoy quite a bit playing the Willow. I think are both decent here. Having something to threaten this Underlord if he does go for like straight away a Crimson is nice.
Radiant
so maybe you could pick up another kind of decent magic damage dealing hero. Disruptor not known for the damage, but I suppose it makes sense. I was wondering if either team would put priority to ban this hero. But obviously Nigma Galaxy having the Lycan doesn't really have to worry about Disruptor, so they just pick it up for themselves. Which is quite nice. It's even quite annoying for Underlord most of the game.
Remaining.
Obviously, you're a big, fat, stupid Underlord walking around the map, so getting glimpsed is really annoying. Just you can't really get into fights easily if you are glimpsed away. But obviously, it's also a very, very good counter to the gate just off the bat. If you try to go in with that at all, you generally will get glimpsed away. So it's pretty nice, I think. These three heroes for Nigma Galaxy, they're kind of low on damage for the time being into the Underlord, which scares me. So I'm maybe expecting OG to pick something up that is likely to capitalize on that. Could be a decent Ember game so far as well. I think it pairs nicely with the Hoodwink. Quite good into Disruptor. So I'll have to see what Stoikov wants. I would be pretty surprised if they left his pick past this phase.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. I know, I don't think this is Stoikov's hero. I know Shad is a huge Shadow Fiend player. It was typically getting first phase banned against them for quite a while there. Hero was brought down, I think, slightly in power, just due to a couple of nerfs, but overall still very strong, and it is quite nice into Lycan to have that minus armor. These are pretty low armor heroes in Nigma Galaxy, period. So that does go nicely for them, but they're actually just going to keep it open, which does make sense. Stoikov can play the Shadow Fiend. So far, there's no BKB piercing stun to really deal with him, and the next assassin is very interesting. I think that out of all teams to bring it out, OG is maybe not the most surprising one to do so, but it's a very classic counter to Snapfire. It can kind of, you know, it's similar to a Lycan Wolf in terms of vision, obviously annoying for Disruptor. So if there was a game for Nyx Assassin, which I'm not confident that there fully is, this is definitely one of the better ones. Mm-hmm.
Dire team's turn to ban.
Oof.
Radiant team ban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's generally kind of. I mean, it does really good once it gets the ulti off into magic
10
damage.
seconds remaining.
You do get a significant boost to your magic resistance, but obviously,
5 seconds
most of the time
remaining.
the Lone Druid dies is kind of when you're outside of that form, and getting bursted is pretty scary from this OG lineup. And to me, this actually signals that it could pretty reasonably be
Radiant teams
Stoichkov
turned
Shadow
ban.
Fiend. To see very definitely picking up a Sameo hero here, barring some crazy Snapfire mid, but definitely don't want to play that into Nyx Assassin. I like the Lone Druid, but I'm a little bit scared. Yeah, that I mean, first of all, I'm scared that they're giving this Underlord a little bit too much value. That Atrophy
10
Aura
seconds
is going to
remaining.
be, double E value against the Lone Druid, as well.
5 seconds
Lone Druid Bear
remaining.
is a hero creep with a lot of HP, so that Firestorm does take pretty heavy damage into the bear. So I'm a little bit surprised they picked it up here. I do think the lane will probably still be pretty annoying for Underlord just having so much damage coming at you. They do have a very fast lineup between Disruptor, Lycan, Snapfire, all the vision that can provide. But I am seeing a lot of like holes in Nigma Galaxy's draft where things could go wrong. And particularly it's
10
in getting
seconds
magic
remaining.
bursted, which I think they are very vulnerable to. And especially if
5
Stoichkov
seconds
is going to go
remaining.
for this Magic Shadow Fiend, which again, there's no BKB Piercing Sun in this game. So that signals to
team's
me
turn
that
to
this could be a really strong game for the Magic Shadow Fiend. As once you do get that BKB, you're completely uncontested. And it's a great game for that BKB. Nigma Galaxy, how do they round this out with Sameo? Fortunately, the Nyx Assassin is quite annoying into a good amount of
10
the
seconds
mid
remaining.
pool. Say a puck here would be something that you would typically
5
maybe
seconds
like.
remaining.
Maybe the damage is low on that hero, but
Radiant
obviously
team's turn
not
to
great
pick.
into Nyx Assassin, and they do still go it. So I suppose they don't care enough, but Nyx Assassin is a typical counter to puck, and a pretty potent one. Mm.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Elon Musk. No, it's pretty high. Yeah, I would give this a pretty decent rating on that scale. As in, they kind of just picked heroes that are like, if we get ahead, we'll win the game. We have just a draft that is going
Choose
to
your
do
hero.
overall quite well into you, and very interesting for OG. They pick up the Bristle. We quite literally just cast a game of Puck versus Bristleback, and eventually it did kind of seem like the Bristleback was just going to win the game. Notably as well as a hero that does not care too much about Lone Druid, does not can itemize quite potently for this game. Can go for a Crimson himself, can go for this early Lotus Orb, which will also be impactful. I really like this OG draft. I would give it a pretty significant advantage. That being said, if Nigma Galaxy comes out of the lanes winning, which I think is definitely not improbable, then they have some really strong tempo to set, but it's a very technical draft from Nigma Galaxy, and that's kind of what I think we're equating the
10
ego to
seconds
here, is that
remaining.
just a single slip up in the game can completely fall out of your
5
hands for Nigma
seconds
Galaxy,
remaining.
so that's why overall for draft I would give it to OG, but we'll have to see if Nigma Galaxy still has that spark that carried them all the way to top 6 at TI. Ghost Lone Druid was certainly a huge part of that. Always a chance for this hero to just get too big to fail, but yeah, this OG draft looks really scary. Mm-hmm.
You can never hide from my collection.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, this is, I mean, very certainly this is kind of the quintessential disruptor draft, as in you're going to be, you know, if you come out of your lane strongly and you win in the early game, you are going to be a very potent, you know, lineup that can push tempo super hard. And if any mistakes are made, you kind of have to just fall back onto that Ags timing really, really late in the game for Toby. So it's again, it's a scary draft to execute for Nigma Galaxy, and OG just has so many kind of, not necessarily simple, but so many ways to kind of throw a wrench into that plan. As particularly, again, definitely watch Stoikov. If he can get into a decent start, if he can get into Blink, BKB, plus his Kayasha, there's nothing contesting
30
him.
seconds to
There's
battle.
absolutely nothing contesting him. You know, so barring Ghost having just some obscene amount of farm with some kind of basher early, Stoikov will always get this Requiem off, and he should always be able to get into the middle of these fights and probably kill off 1 to 2 heroes and Mixa, he'll break the smoke. Again, we did see just this last game that we casted, the Bristleback versus Puck. It did look really, really good to draft with kind of low damage. We'll have to see if this Lone Druid Disruptor poses a significant threat to its life in the laning phase, but yeah, it's, I mean, I like this Bristleback pick quite a bit, and Mixa, I'm sure he's happy to pick it up, even in a game where it's not too great, but this one, it is certainly looking good. Yeah. Ooh. Good trading. Ow.
I refuse you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Nyx is asking one of the better ones into particularly the Disruptor. Again, don't care very much what he's got going on. And that glimpse damage is very easily spiked Carapace. Notably, Daze did take the mana burn facet for that Mind Flare mana burn. I think this is the one Nyxes generally prefer, but I've seen it be kind of a mixed bag. And Toby, that's a blood grenade in the top side. So annoying.
Denied.
So far, things going pretty decently for the side of OG. Again, you want to do, I mean, having Nyx Assassin into also Lone Druid, I think, feels kind of okay. As in, a lot of times you don't want to lane into this hero, honestly, anyway. Having those kind of two heroes for the Lone Druid is obviously so obnoxious to CS into. So just dragging the waves is kind of a default maybe into this hero, and they've managed to get their large camp pull up here. Stoikov so far is doing pretty good in the mid lane as well. Into Puck, which this can be kind of a finicky matchup. Generally, SF is fine, I think, into most mid matchups, but Puck is one of the ones where you're never going to really have a kill threat onto the hero, which does detract from this hero's very, very strong early laning phase. Still playing it pretty nicely on Stoikov, just get decent trades here. You get a little bit of a CS lead.
Look at that. Radiant's courier just got killed.
I mean, it's not obvious at all, I think, for anything that Nyx is gonna want to do, as they are pretty confidently losing all of their lanes, at least in terms of CS for the time being. Mix is very comfortable, not really pressured at all in the top lane. He'll get to his Vanguard eventually. And we do see the 1x bet odds there on screen. They're favoring Nigma Galaxy quite a bit, as we would kind of expect, but so far the way the game is going, I mean, it looks pretty good for OG. Again, we praise their draft very heavily. And now, of course, we're looking at a laning phase that is going quite nicely for them. They do rotate 3 heroes at 4 minutes to kill the Nyx's ass in mid. And Samael doesn't even actually get the kill. It gets split. And meanwhile, bot side, Noob ends up dying to Shad while his wave is stacked up. It's kind of brutal for Nigma Galaxy here.
Denied.
Ooh, barely.
Strange
Okay.
time to hibernate. I think not. Puck out!
Yeah. Kind of annoying as well for Stoika. I mean, being SF into Disruptor is quite annoying for a good portion of the early game. Even Nixa, really nicely done by Nigma Galaxy.
I've been better. I hit the kill
Just
switch.
moving around the map with the supports.
A prize!
Radiant's bottom tower's got problems.
Yeah, they definitely are not good at clearing stacks there, which could be pretty obnoxious for them as well if OG start building some of those up for themselves. Thankfully, Nyx Assassin, again, also not necessarily renowned for being the best hero at stacking. Mind Flayer, I guess, can help. Soikov. They did have the sentry, yeah, so Soikov will know just about where that sentry is. Should be fine. Daze. He's doing his best at being annoying, but he could actually get punished for this. Again, no spike carapace yet. It should go down.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
What ingratitude!
Someone better help Dire's middle tower. Radiant's top tower has looked better.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if they really could have done anything. Just really nice play by Shad to use that early Fiend's Gate. A lot of times, I think even the support or the carry Underlords don't care to level the Fiend's Gate early if you don't have any good reason to, but getting into that 6 early enough meant that you could steal that Wisdom Shrine away. Get over to Mixa, who now does have his Vanguard not actually ahead of Ghost by any means. Ghost has been out farming Mixa for the time being, and Omar. Hello. Breaks, but yeah, nicely done. I mean, by Nigma Galaxy, certainly using the kind of early game support advantage they have to actually eke something out, and that means that Lycan is now being given time in the jungle to recover. So despite that very early laning phase going quite poorly for Nigma Galaxy, they've been eking out a lot of value with the supports. Now the levels do hurt, but they've been kind of supplementing them by getting some of these early kills. Just about matching up to where the enemy supports are. And I love how active Toby has been on this disruptor. The mask. Ooh.
Axes, please!
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures have been snow fortified. Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, again, not very threatened by Stoikov. Stoikov, I mean, really hates playing into that kind of
Radiant's bottom tower
early disruptor. He's playing into the full bore from Omar. It's just an annoying game to be the Shadow Fiend before you get that BKB blink. So again, I think this is to be expected. Definitely the expected outcome of potentially what Nigma Galaxy should be doing across the map, but it's going a little bit better for them than it should on average. There'll be a defusal coming out soon for Ghost. That'll be really obnoxious for Mixa, losing all of his mana. Even if he doesn't necessarily die, just having no mana can sometimes render this hero to be a little bit useless. And Shad, dying where he did, that was a very difficult kill for him to give away. Just using that mask at the wrong time. He was at, I believe, about -5 armor, -12 coming out after the Howl and the mask was down. So showing that he still has to play careful. Mid lane, they can play super aggressive because Toby, the threat of him being on the map is potentially very scary for Stoikov. So he's had to completely remove himself from the mid lane. Noob is rotating over. The early map presence is going to be very strong for Nigma Galaxy, and if they can't get into days of 6, if they can't manage to find anything off the back of these support levels, then could be difficult to get back in the game. Toby going straight at Lelis. Oh no!
Double kill!
A bit rash.
We'll get Stoikov.
May you ride on nether zephyrs.
Time to dish it out.
Yeah, nicely played by Stoikov. It was just barely a half second, and Ghost definitely would have lived there. It could have been a disaster otherwise. For Stoikov, it does kind of suck that he ended up dying there at the end, but he'll certainly take any injection to the gold that he can get. We'll see Mixa pick up a soul ring there, pretty much necessary, and yeah, really, really nicely played by Stoikov there, just perfectly on the edge. Daze does, of course, in real time get caught by the static storm, which sucks for him. It's a cooldown that they use. Won't have it for another about 90 seconds or so. Keep smoked up on Sumail and Omar. There's no Nyx Assassin to counter this Mortimer Kisses. Maybe now it's a good time to utilize it. He is tanky. Imps. Oh god.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long. Someone better help Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, it will be annoying for quite a while, and every Vendetta kill is going to set back Nigma Galaxy quite a bit. Obviously, people kind of think, I think on average, that, oh, it's just a disruptor kill, you know, oh, it's just this position 5. Things could certainly be worse, but taking Kobe off the map is very important. He's been kind of the main catalyst for Nigma Galaxy getting all of these kills. He's setting most of the tempo up around the map. You see where Stoikov is. He'll be getting into this Yasha Kaya at a very respectable time. The 14 minutes that he'll finish it is slightly above where Smail is after he got that double kill top. So looking pretty good for OG. Again, expecting that this early game would go poorly for them, but oh man, Dobie again. That's why you want him off map.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse. Radiant's bottom tower's got problems.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that that is even as much the style there for Ghost, but Stoikov, of course, that was the replay there, and now into real-time. Daze is dying again. Every time we go down a replay, Daze dies. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Production really cursing Daze on the next assassin.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower deserves just as much.
I would agree,
as its
but
bottom.
next assassin these days is not the most attractive garbage. The hero is
Radiant's
definitely weaker
top
than it
tower is
has
under
been for
attack.
quite some time. But yeah, very annoying. When you walk into 5 heroes, I suppose maybe it could happen that there happens to be a sentry down
Radiant's
there.
top tower deserves
So for the
just
time
as
being,
much
OG
help as
pretty
the bottom. Dire's bottom
passive.
tower
They would
is under attack.
still, I think, like to find maybe slightly more kills than they're getting. Of course, the farm is relatively even, so that's not the worst thing,
Dire's
all
bottom
things considered.
tower
What we really need
chipped
here is
away.
Stoikov to get his items. Every item that Stoikov gets is insanely impactful. The Blink Dagger is going to be huge for him when he does get it. Maybe he just has to go straight into BKB. That's probably what I would prefer to see him do. As the game is going to be hard for him in days. Oh no. Not again. Damage. Glimpse. Oh, fancy feet. Oh, which way?
Get fucked.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long. Dire's middle tower
Yeah, a
has
little too
fallen.
active for sure. You know, maybe overestimating how much time they should spend on the peloton. A little bit too heavy of a workout in the mid lane there. Just, yeah, too far. I mean, there's been quite a few kills for the likes of Nigma Galaxy. So definitely the map control is quite good for them, I think, at the moment. But yeah, definitely the farm being even is quite nice for OG. Again, items for Mixo are very, very nice. Items for Stoikov are very, very nice. And they do have the blink from Stoikov. He didn't die, so he's going to go into that item first. And it doesn't mean he has the burst potential. With the likes of Lelis, he can find something. Noob he was on Vision earlier, farming this Ancient, but might just slightly miss him. Days again. The break.
Here I am.
Oh, he's too fast. Uh-oh. Okay, Crimson's here. It's on cooldown actually, but maybe that matters if they go on to Mixa.
Not much good.
That's even here. Oh. Ow.
Just radiant fortified their structures.
To die. Yeah, and this Mjolnir is going to be really impactful for Ghost. Obviously, talk about the flat mitigation, or the percentage mitigation from Shadow on the Atrophy aura. Definitely taking a lot less damage physically from the bear. That Mjolnir means that the damage will be pretty meaningful. Obviously, also goes through the Crimson Guard here. So if Ghost gets on top of a hero, he's able to hit. He is going to kill it. He's getting it. Should be coming on the courier right before the Tormentor is coming up. OG is up here, but this position looks really scary. Oh god. Oh god. Ellis? Oh. Oh, Shad's coming. Oh, the damage. No true form.
Killing spree! Double kill!
Big Sir sees Toby. Raid boss.
Triple kill!
A prize. Behold!
Yeah, I mean, a little bit awkward by days. Again, is a little bit early, but once Shad is able to connect, he's incredibly strong. And I mean, that propelled him insanely too. The XP that he got off of that fight alone brought him all the way up to level 19. That's absolutely ridiculous, since all of those were essentially solo kills. So Shad is massive. So, let's see here. Can they actually catch anything? He got it again. Oh, he's so fast.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh no.
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Looking up at the grass.
Yeah, I mean, the execution has honestly even, I think, been kind of okay by OG. Just, Noob has been exceptionally fast on his reactions here. So, I mean, really just playing to his ends here. And I'm a little bit confused as well. I don't know why they're so pressured. I feel the need to make moves without Shad, but Shad's going to come in anyway. Oh, runs back. He can come back. First life? Play. Oh, getting kited.
Dominating! Axe is pleased!
Yeah, they have a lot of ways to kite him, but yeah, OG, I'm not loving how antsy they've been about this game. I don't think that they've needed to go so aggressively. Now, granted, again, I think Noob, just his reaction time has been honestly kind of ridiculous. So that certainly stopped them from getting a pretty decent gold injection. Definitely turned some of those fights sideways for them, but just the concepts of them, they're so high risk, high reward, and I don't think they need that. Chad is level 20. Like, he's having the game of his life on this Underlord. If they can just wait for him to be able to connect, then, you know, I think he will be perfectly happy to do so every time. But they've been going when he doesn't have gate. They've been going smoking just a little bit before he can actually meaningfully connect. And it's been biting them really bad. Still, it's only 4k for Nigma Galaxy, but this Aegis is going to be really, really nice for Ghost again. Now he doesn't have to worry about this burst coming out. He can go very comfortably into the Aghanims for himself, or for his bear, that is. And I mean, yeah, it just feels very, very nice for Nigma Galaxy. This Aegis really cements the capability for them to cover this map and get a couple of tier 2s, really make their presence known here, and it sets Stoikov's BKB back quite a bit. Thankfully he's close to it, so I think if he can get to this, there's some merit potentially to their next fight. But this BKB has certainly been a lot more delayed than I think it had any reason to be.
Where did Radiant's middle tower go?
Yeah, ideally you'd like to get Stoikov's neutral item, and he has level 18. That'll be a pretty big power spike for him. But you can execute onto somebody pretty quick with Daze if you think you ought to. Ghost, he has the Aghanims finally for his bear, which feels very nice. I mean, already he has this Aegis, but now you have to physically kill the bear before being able to win this, and I think that's what they're going to try to go for. Well, I think Stoikov could have gotten it, but he was scared. I actually really think he should have just committed. He had to be. Honestly, I think committing BKB to kill the bear with the Ags is worth it. I think certainly worth it. You need to put this on a timer, because that's the real Aegis, is having the summon Spirit Bear onto Ghost. But, nope, not this time. Daze. Tanky. Not to magic. Amplify damage. Oh.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower's got problems. Radiant have fortified their structures. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Dire's courier has been killed.
Yeah, I mean, probably should have TP'd out even on Daze again. There's a gem. This time he's walking away, but they are going to get the Usurper anyway. Dust onto Samael. Who, by the way, Samael, he did not have to go for that early defensive item that we sometimes see the puck have to. Went straight into that Parasma wall. Ooh, actually, glimpses there. Daze having pretty bad stinker of a Nyx Assassin game. Just sometimes this is how the hero feels. No longer do you have that ability to one-shot the creep speo, so that farming potential for Nyx Assassin is not really there. He's relying on getting any kind of kill to supplement his net worth, and they're not getting those. Not reliably. No, it's this hero can be quite tough. There's a reason we don't see a lot of Nyx Assassin, and this hero can be rather difficult. And as you said, you know, just really all about getting those kind of kills. And if you can't do it, then you have basically no way of meaningfully gaining net worth especially as well. Days. He went for max
Radiant's
Mind
top
Flare,
tower
max
has
Spike
fallen.
Carapace. Very brawling build. Surikov, surprisingly, honestly, did. I mean, I think that noob kill did propel him a decent bit of net worth. So he's getting close to level 20. He's getting close to the Aghanims. That's a pretty big timing, all things considered. Nixa is even messing with the bear a little bit here. Does finally have the shard for Ghost. That's a pretty big one. The shard on a Ghost means that you are no longer getting that Viscous Nasal Glue stacked up against you. You can go ahead and use the Dispel. Makes it a little bit stronger as well. The attack speed that you get there. It's a very nice pickup for Ghost. He's very comfortable. Okay, Harpoon. Ow. Yeah. Yeah, I like the Silver Edge quite a bit. Does make it possible to kill off these supports really easily with all the damage he's built into. And notably as well, Ghost, he gets very heavily rewarded. He's got a vast unleashed serrated shiv. So that's a dormant curio held up until the tier 3. Gets that onto, notably, of course, Lone Druid gets 2 copies of whatever
bottom
neutral item
barracks.
he chooses, one on the bear, one for himself. I see. I wonder if that's
Radiant's
intentional or
bottom
not.
barracks have fallen.
I don't know. I don't know if the bear actually, probably it like just copies the item that Lone Druid gets. So maybe it doesn't, like, rather than upgrading from Curio, it just gives him the Shiv. Would be maybe my best guess. Then at that chance, I guess that is a little bit unfortunate. But regardless, a rated Shiv, a vast rated Shiv is still very, very strong. Smoke up from Nigma Galaxy. Octarine finished on Samael, so fully aggressive on the side of Samael. No need really to go into silly defensive items as he's not been too punished this game. Stoikov, level 20 with the Aghanim Scepter. This is definitely his potential unleashed in this game. About the strongest he'll be probably the entire game, barring the next, 2 huge items he'll get. But for the time being, this is the timing that they've been waiting for.
Tower.
I mean, yeah, you have to get the stun though too. The phase shift coming out from Smail, so that's why he's been so confident to itemize this aggressively.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
The fetch. Yeah, it is weird. I mean, it is much better, I think, to grab heroes, and it does go, or it doesn't go through BKB, of course, because that would be broken. I believe they actually might have taken that away in the past, but yeah, it's a weird spell. It doesn't necessarily do too much, and get the nice stun on this wheel. Oh no! Faces his blink. 30 minutes. Blinks out. Wow. He's fine.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
Yeah, certainly should be. Shadow has an extra 156 damage, working towards that Daedalus. Incredibly strong still. Onto the Underlord. Only one bear is super meaningful. We've seen that the bear is kind of easy to bring down with all the minus armor they have, and no way to really answer that for Ghost in the time being. Really quick rush. Aegis in the hands of Shad, and that's how you kind of get bit if you're playing the way Samael is playing. He is going to itemize into that Aeon Disc next. Definitely necessary this game. I see. A wolf puck would be pretty scary, actually. When to think of it, I wonder. No, not really. I wonder if your phase shift actually. I see the vision. Yes. Yes. Yes, it would. I mean, it should. It very much should. Although it does mess with, obviously turns you melee, so I think it would mess with your phase shift shard. Obviously messes with your attack bonus, but ghost. Doesn't need to be a wolf. Ooh, good go. Heal, heal. Oh. Ow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
Second one bear.
This abuse.
He'll be right back. Broken. Oh.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
He's looking.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Shout the devil.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
Yeah, he really, I mean, he really needs this BKB, but they did bring the damage to the bear. Managed to take out both of the spirit bears, but just unfortunately fell out of, kind of ran out of steam there at the very end. So the fight eventually going to Nigma
Radiant's
Galaxy.
middle tower has fallen.
I'm not actually sure.
Illusion!
Radiant's top tower deserves just as much help as bottom.
Maybe it's something to do with the courier. I wasn't actually watching, but I would, maybe there's some weird thing you can do with the courier.
It's
Well,
not even
I mean, maybe
my
there's like a
birthday.
trick you can do
Well, I guess it
with the courier to take items off of it. I'm not sure, but
a prize.
I guess he Ghost does another tech, so actually managed to kind of secure farm for himself. Now does spawn the second bear another 2 minutes before he'll have a second one. And we can see the efficacy of this Silver Edge. Obviously, Silver Edge is great into Bristleback for many of the known reasons for a very long time, but it's quite good into Shad as well. Getting rid of Atrophy Aura. It doesn't, of course, get rid of the stacks that he's already built, but it prevents him from gaining them, it prevents him from cleaving, and it does remove that kind of damage mitigation that he has built in. So Shad has to be careful if he doesn't have that BKB. Almost, I mean, he is going into Satanic, and I can't blame Shad at all for that, as he has now as well hit the 25. It's extra Pin of Malice route, but I almost wonder if he just needs a refresher, because, man, this is playing the game without his BKB has looked really, really miserable. Just, yeah.
Bounty.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
Not going Axe. Yeah. onto the bear. Don't quite know if I have Beowulf here with me. Still? Okay. Yeah, Toby not going for the axe is a little bit interesting. I can't necessarily blame him this game, but it would be really, really nice to have that kind of insurance here. Because now the BKBs are going to be full stop. Extremely relevant. Smail, though, he is really strong on this hawk. Yeah, he is, man. Can't catch a break.
Well, I could have been invisible.
Oh, God.
Dominating!
On to Shad.
Mega kill! Double kill!
Kill Shad?
That's animal cruelty. Radiant's
Oh,
middle
no.
tower is under attack.
Oh, God.
Axes, please!
Die back. Oh, no.
Radiant structures have been snow fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Where did Radiant's middle tower go? Radiant's middle base?
Can I get the bear? Bear would be, I mean, better than a hero kill, to be honest.
Axes, please!
Well, it's dies anyway to Smail. Smail is just playing crazy in this game. He managed to get Toby. So that's a nice little pickup. Does have the gem, but Smail is running absolutely wild. So farmed on this puck. Now level 25 Bayo. I mean, the game was hard before. Really, really hard before. Now Smail has an amplified damage bottled with the Dream Coil Pierce's debuff immunity. So that is the big talent. I mean, we don't necessarily have this Ags Static Storm coming out. That's going to be this late game monster, but Smail, he's going to do it all his own. And they do have noobs Ags. Daedalus. Yeah.
Double harm
That's good,
shall
yeah.
I deal.
Stoikov!
Monster
Oh.
kill!
Why is he so far up?
Lies in my presence.
That is not... No,
Radiant's middle
I mean,
tower
punish
shouldn't have to
greatly.
take this abuse.
They have another bear, so basically, when you play this lone druid kind of style, the ghost is you have an Aegis every 2
Radiant's
minutes
top tower
for your
is a
hero.
better.
The reason that this is so strong, and I mean, there's no real fight to put together without Stoikov. Chad, he isn't even coming back to the base, granted, at the moment. He really wants the Satanic. He thinks it's the only way he can survive with this kind of Ags foil, and he's probably correct. It probably isn't worth trying to mount a defense to the Megas. You're just gonna have to play into them. There's the bear. The wolf bear.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Double kill!
Dire victory. 5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
no, Toby absolutely deserves the success because again, yeah, just every team that he shows up on just
Dire
seems to
team's
kind of
turn to
magically
ban.
improve at least in some aspect. So I'm sure he's bringing something at least to draft, to communication, probably to all the above.
10 seconds
He
remaining.
just seems like a very easy player to work with, very easy player to play with. So
5
definitely
seconds
deserving
remaining.
of at least this trial phase here.
Radiant team
Obviously, of
ban.
course, OG is not, I think, the ultimate test for Nigma Galaxy at the moment or going to be into this
Radiant team
qualifier,
ban.
but of course, you know, every game you want to play it to your fullest, and that last game, Nigma Galaxy, they certainly did. I think
10
this game they're
seconds
looking, of
remaining.
course, to recreate it, and it is kind of annoying that this Nigma Galaxy draft.
5
One thing that I do
seconds remaining.
think
Dire team ban.
Toby and GH kind of both did. That is nice that Toby still has is he forces out bans. This is a player where
10
you can't
seconds
let him get
remaining.
Gen. Yeah, you absolutely can't let him have that
Radiant team's
hero.
turn to ban.
Most players don't like to let him have the Ench either or the likes. So just kind of you know a
10
5 player
seconds
that kind of
remaining.
soaks up some bans and then still plays something that he's relatively quite good at,
5
which is very
seconds
nice to
remaining.
have.
Radiant team ban.
Hmm
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Mm.
Dire team's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. I think they already have actually done it. I think they've already picked a 9 worth. Maybe in this qualifier, actually, I believe against Call Me Jota. Previously, they did 9 pick the Muerta. But it did not go well. Short and sweet of it. So maybe it's not worth it, but I think probably Omar, honestly, I mean, obviously Smail's doing his kind of helm dom thing, his shenanigans with the Muerta mid, which is fun, but
Dire team's turn
it's
to
always
pick.
been one of Omar's best heroes. So
Radiant team's turn to pick.
I think it's probably worth the shout out ban. They do ban the Lycan and pick up the Beastmaster for themselves, which is interesting. Obviously, they could have done the otherwise, or maybe even banned out potentially something and then gone into the Lycan.
Dire team's turn to
Because
ban.
now Nigma Galaxy, they have the Naga Siren open, and you know, obviously we think this hero, you know, in previously when we were casting a lot of games. Before the patch came out, we said this is probably just the most broken hero in competitive, period. It provides you basically everything you could possibly want, and Song is
10 seconds
the
left.
most broken spell in
Decided?
Dota, you know, in competitive Dota. But it
5
was nerfed
seconds
very
remaining.
slightly. I believe it was damage on Deluge. I believe the HP the healing coming out from
Dire
the
team
ulti
ban.
as well. Plus, I think one other small thing. Which means that this hero is still very good. It's just slightly worse from where it was, which means that now maybe Bayo, instead of being incredibly ridiculously broken, it's just pretty broken. Yeah, just pretty broken.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
God damn it.
Radiant team's turn to ban. Radiant team's turn to pick. Dire team's turn to pick.
Invoker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
and that's not to mention the vision and the lockdown and everything else that goes hand in hand with Naga Siren. Just a great hero overall, and probably the deluge damage almost matters more,
Dire
just to
team's
kind of
turn
stop
to
this hero from getting so many items
Silencer.
as a support. The silencer I think is nice for OG, but so far this Nigma Galaxy draft is giving me kind of the shivers. I think Naga Siren Invoker for them is very bread and butter. I think these are two very, very, very strong heroes
10 seconds remaining.
that they're happy to have, and I mean, Silencer is fine. I think
5
Beastmaster is
seconds
whatever
remaining.
so far in this draft. We'll have to see what their next pick is, but it's hard to imagine that Nigma Galaxy is not going to be able to properly round out their draft here on the 17-18 or the 16-17. And I'm just, it's not too far in the draft, Bayo. I mean, there are still
Radiant team's
some
turn to
decent
pick.
heroes. Maybe Stoikov will go into some kind of mid laner. Maybe they'll go into the Tiny 4, which I believe this is very likely to be the Tiny 4. Not opting for Hoodwink this game. But yeah, this Nigma Galaxy draft, it's scaring me a little. And there still is the likes of Gyro for Nigma Galaxy.
10
So I wonder if they'll
seconds
just
remaining.
bust that out. I mean, it's great pairing with Naga Siren. It's perfectly good into
5 seconds
Silencer Tiny.
remaining.
You don't really care what either of those heroes do. It's great into Beastmaster and Lane. I don't necessarily see why they couldn't, but again, Ghost is a very talented player. So I'm sure there's, 50 heroes he could pick and be very comfortable on in this game.
Radiant team's turn to pick. Dire team's
Ripper.
I speak for the trees.
Oh. Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. I'm
5
a tiny
seconds
bit
remaining.
surprised. I don't maybe love the natures too much coming out here, but granted how the first game went. I think having this kind of potential to be around the map is really obnoxious. Their damage is kind of low on OG for the time being, so once you get a BKB, you're not significantly threatened. Definitely want to see them fix that on OG here. The question is, how do you fix that? You do want something that can kind of get away from the Sprout, so I mean, any hero can buy Quilling Blade, but maybe something that buys Battle Fury is nice. It's an okay jug game if you want to head that direction. Probably okay to go with Ursa, Dragonite, Gyro. I think all of these speak fine to me. I don't know if you need to pick up a mid laner for Stoikov. Maybe he feels his hero pool is pinched, but I feel like you want to get Shad a hero that he's comfortable on here.
Dire team's turn to ban.
Sniper.
Oh.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Yeah, and this is also kind of nice for OG in the sense of it is actually a flex for them. So they won't have any more information on Nigma Galaxy's pick since they do have the last pick, but they'll get to see what they ban. They'll have a little bit more information.
10
Because
seconds
Shad does love his sniper. I'm sure that Stoikov can play it. I think I probably
5
like the
seconds
premise of a mid sniper maybe slightly more, but
Radiant team's turn to ban.
we'll certainly have to see, because again, I think based on what I know from OG, this is probably Shad's sniper. I think he does just kind of
Dire
enjoy
team
this
ban.
hero, and it makes sense. I mean, it is a hero that builds Hurricane Pike. It's a very good game to have a 4-staff. I think in general, I think 4-staff honestly stops most of the damage from Nigma Galaxy at the moment, which maybe could be a small issue for them. We'll have to see what they do for their
10
last pick. And
seconds remaining.
Nigma Galaxy thinks that they are picking a carry for this last pick on OG.
5
Certainly
seconds
possible.
remaining.
I don't know if there is something that Stoikov really wants that he's been playing a ton of.
Dire
He could
team's
just pick
turn
up the
to pick.
Quap if he feels like it. I think that's pretty serviceable. Maybe that's the best pick for him. Maybe that's too hard into the Helm Dom Invo. Not exactly sure. Got quite a few options. I mean, technically they could even throw this Beastmaster mid, but it doesn't really seem necessary to me.
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Abyssal Underlord.
All right. Why not? Yeah. Yeah, very likely.
10 10 seconds
I
remaining.
doubt they're doing like mid beast and offlane underlord Shad sniper. That's a little bit too
5 seconds
nasty.
remaining.
I mean, Shad looked great on the underlord, so there's no reason I think to doubt it, but it doesn't scream to me as nearly as good of an underlord game. I think there's probably less merit overall to this pick. I also think underlord seems like a hero that generally hates playing against Naga Siren. Obviously, if you're like the offlane version, you don't care that much, but being slept as the carry underlord is really annoying. Being forced to BKB and being the only person to put damage into Song is kind of difficult. So it could be annoying. Yeah. You do buy Harpoon, but... Mm-hmm. Yeah, very often that's the solution, but we'll see. Nigma Galaxy, they're just like very likely picking up a noob hero, and
Choose
Slaughter,
your
I think,
hero.
makes perfect sense. These are pretty low armor heroes across the board for OG, so I like that one quite a bit. It is going to be mix of Beastmaster, Stoikop Sniper, and Shad Underlord. Overall, I mean, I'm a little skeptical that this is. I think the Invoker, the Naga Siren. I think this is a very nice last pick for the Slardar. I'm going to go ahead. I mean, seeing the first game, I think obviously we're in kind of agreement that Nigma Galaxy probably has the upper hand, just period. Probably no matter how much the draft favors them, considering OG did have a draft that we liked quite a bit. But in this game, I think Nigma Galaxy, I'd probably give the favor just 50, or, you know, just no bias at all seeing that previous
10
game. I'd
seconds
probably give the
remaining.
draft to them. And with the context of that previous game,
5
this
seconds
one does seem a little
remaining.
bit more difficult for OG to execute, which could potentially pose a threat. Maybe Toby is slightly less obnoxious across the map early on in the game, but his impact later in the game is going to be absolutely detrimental to OG. Yeah, it is. I mean, I honestly think as the resident player, I think it is kind of the best overall. But Xord is a very, very close, I think, secondary. That one, they're all much closer than they were
Prepare
at a
for
time
battle.
for sure. So we'll have to see how this actually does pan out for Samael. Very often, I think with this Wax Facet, you do end up just going the Xord anyway, just because it's so much easier to lane with. So that's gonna, I mean, it's gonna be kind of like plays out the same way. But the notable thing is what does change for this facet is how many points you can put into the orb that you choose. But primarily it's the Ags and it's the Shard, which the Wex Shard is inarguably the best one by far. EMP having this pull as it, you know, was the previous Invoker Shard, just all around, is incredibly strong. It gives the extra burn damage as well. And the Tornado is very obnoxious once you do get into it later in the game. So I'm expecting Samael to have pretty significant
30
impact
seconds to battle.
with this facet. And,
Sure, bro.
That's a little too much whole talk for me, I think, and a little too early in the day to be starting
Let's
with
get
that. but-
moving.
maybe one day we'll see the little intrigue there. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of an annoying draft for OG to be getting pulled around by any kind of hole, especially that EMP here. I mean, it's a good EMP game, granted. That's another reason that I often think of taking the Wex facet, is if it's a good game to have EMP, then it's a perfectly good game to be the Wex facet. Just pretty low mana heroes across the board. Curious to see. I mean, I'm sure Samael will go into the Helm Dom, but he actually doesn't have a start that's built up for it, at least at the moment. So I'm actually curious if he is going to skip the Helm Dom this game, just based on his starting items.
Look at that. Radiant's courier just got killed.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, I mean, Midas is totally still fine as well on Invoker, but
Let's get
Dom
on
has been
with
a
it.
kind of a staple of why this hero has looked so good. So, I mean, probably he'll get into it at some point. And in the bot lane, Ghost gets into Mixa at some point here and getting chased down by Daze.
Axes impressed. To Gray, you
Finish.
just fell on hard times.
Yeah, it's, I mean, kind of lost a decent bit of CS in the first wave, unfortunately for Ghost, but regardless, Mixa is definitely the character that you want levels on. Want to be getting into very likely what are these Wild Access points, because Mixa has actually gone for the Beast mode facet, not going for Wild Hunt, which means potentially we could see a Beastmaster that even skips entirely the Helm Dom. So maybe we'll have these kind of typical Helm Dom heroes, but no Helm Dom this game. Toby takes a lot of damage in the bot side.
Is ours.
But could be the Ags build for the Beastmaster. Obviously, we did see Helm Dom nerfed in the most recent patch. Still a very good item, but maybe that has pushed Mixa into wanting to go the Ags build. Pretty good this game. Granted, much better at laning into the Natures and the Naga Siren, because you can go into those full points of axes. Don't have to worry too much about the creeps there.
Radiant's courier has been killed. What did that courier ever do to anyone? Look at that. Radiant's courier just got killed.
God. Oh no. Is this even worth it for chat? Yeah. Yeah, but it was as well for Shad. So, I mean, kind of annoying for Noob, but definitely we'll trade that. You can see XP, giving a kill to Samael is obviously very good. You want to very, very much. Yeah. The CS is horrible, but I believe the net worth is actually probably closer than it should be by a pretty good bit, because he has managed to get 2 kills and an assist. So, despite his CS being just absolutely miserable in the mid lane, his kills at least are supplementing enough to where he's not probably feeling horrible. But yeah, granted, this is a pretty awful deficit here in terms of CS. Stoikov is taking it to him. Probably Sniper, but not by very much. Huskar is probably my most hated hero to play against in lane in Dota, so I just, yeah, it's very miserable. But Sniper is very close up there in the worst heroes to lane against as a mid laner. Particularly, it's just so annoying that sometimes you just lose CS and you know that it was a 40% chance proc that went ahead and got it. And sometimes you just lose trades because of that 40% proc. And Kobe, he was quite low in the bot lane. I'm surprised that he didn't go back and kind of heal himself earlier. Does end up actually dying with that regen in his inventory. Maybe just picked it up when he got to base. Full inventory of regen.
Radiant have fortified their structures.
Ooh. Well, this is fast. This is... I think it's just easy to play with. It lanes perfectly fine. It farms perfectly fine. It can itemize for whatever it wants in the game. If you want to go Helm Dom, you're comfortable too. And particularly just Corrosive Haze in the right game is very strong, right? OG have very little armor across all their heroes. It's very nice for setting up objectives. It works well in conjunction with a lot of heroes. Even, you know, the Hoodwink, even with, you know, Forge Spirits minus armor. It's just a hero that is just kind of nice to play with, as long as its lane doesn't go horribly, which Noob's lane is perfectly fine. And it does usually get to a point where it's just kind of nice to play around. It fills a lot of kind of boxes that you would want from an offlaner. That being said, so far the lanes for OG going even better than they were in the beginning of that first game. Just about a 2k lead. It kind of takes slowly, but next to having a great time in the bot lane, he's going to go into that Helm Dom. At least that's what he has queued up for the time being. Just across the lanes, a CS lead, and particularly that mid lane is just brutal. That's right. Close. Yeah, although Daze he is hunting. Can actually kill Samael if he gets this avalanche toss into... Yep, there it is. Nicely done. That's a killing spree. Yeah, as if he needed it. Greedy little goblin sniper there, even stacking for himself. His greed sickens me. So yeah, having a very, very good game so far. Toby does do a good job of controlling the mid runes, but as sniper, sometimes you don't get the mid rune and you don't really care. You're just, you know, you're just this little sniper. It did mean that Samael did get those earn charges, which was quite nice for him off that kill, and he does now kind of pose a form of threat to Stoikov. With that urn charge with the meteor, if he ever has an additional hero, he can kill a sniper, even if, you know, Stoikov kind of walks with the meatball at all. He will take some very significant damage. Oh no. Just doing a checkup. Just a checkup, you know. See, make sure everything's okay back here. And okay, we are gonna see Nixa. He has Roar ready to skill whenever he does want it. Does want it. Ow.
I will rise next season.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's bottom tower's got problems.
Yeah, he knows that there's a timer that Smail could potentially punish him here, and
Top tower?
that the support could be around, especially with the 10-minute runs coming up. Stoikov making sure to be careful. And Smail, of course, or I mean, when we do check up on him, he is deciding to skip the Helm Dom. Children for Stoikov is nice. And straight into a Spirit Vessel, which is rather interesting. It's a good Spirit Vessel game in the sense of there's no real way for them to dispel it on the side of OG. So every time you use the Spirit Vessel, you are going to be getting full value out of it. There's some kind of high HP heroes relatively. But that being said, there's not very much healing on the side of OG, so not getting much value out of the item in that sense. Ghost is coming. Ooh.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Days. There it is.
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Oh my god.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's kind of living.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower. Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long. Dire's middle tower just went down.
Gotta give mid, yeah. Mid one on your mind. Yeah, that he did. Like quite good when he did. A little bit of a bygone era, but nice move by Nigma Galaxy. Finding Stoikov is the best hero you could possibly find on the map. Every time Sniper dies, it sets him back a very significant amount. And this is one of those heroes that's kind of contingent on getting a decent lead and holding it. That being said, it's still good for
They're beating on
OG
Dire's
that
top
they're
tower.
up in this way, but they've lost a good amount of map control off the back of that, and if they can find
Dire's top
Mixa,
tower has fallen.
it would be really, really good. They should. Nice wand.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
These words, they're the last you'll hear. Behold!
Yeah, and I mean, maybe if this Helm Dom change with the mana wasn't there, he would have had enough to get the roar off, but fortunately did not. So getting punished here across the map on Nigma Galaxy, smoking up again. I mean, they've been so aggressive. I don't know if I trust this one as much, but the damage.
I'll make it. Dire's bottom tower needs some help.
The hardest may fall.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
Yeah, Smail, I mean, he's doing so much on this Invoker. He's been a part of all 10 kills, mind you. Mostly throughout the Sunstrike, but now getting on top of Wells as well, who's not going to be able to meaningfully do anything, will take out eventually. This time is nice. Toby will die. Shad's coming.
Well-gotten gains.
And on to Stoikov again. Samael is just an absolute monster, but did not have... Okay, should still get this kill. Fancy feet, Stoikov? No. Didn't have the meatball right away, so almost missed that kill there, but thankfully Omar had that sharpshooter, and they want to get these stacks. Oh no. Oh, miss.
Let's see what we do for fun around here.
On the days. It's so deep. Wow.
Fools die.
Someone better help Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, Samael, again, he's a part of all 14 kills on this Invoker. It's absolutely ridiculous what he's managed to accomplish in this game, punishing OG very significantly for every kind of misstep, and they're getting into their item timings very, very comfortably. Samael opts to skip the Dominator, definitely seeming like the correct choice in this game. The way he's been able to set tempo, he's now got a Midas for himself. Will give him more XP than the Dominator ever would, and looking at Shad.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh goodness.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
Invisibility.
Radiant just denied their middle tower.
Yeah, that's that's one of the worst that I've seen. I don't think that this game is quite that dire. But certainly, of course, everyone, after seeing that first game, just is having that faith restored into Nigma Galaxy, and very reasonable. They're playing this game quite nicely as well. I mean, having the lineup that they do and having 14 kills at this point in the game is very impressive, and they've just been leveraging Samael, they've been leveraging the Sunstrike, everything in their power to eke out just that little bit of damage that you don't expect, and it's punished them quite fruitfully here. Although OG, again, you know, the game isn't completely dire if you were to just look at this from the game standpoint. Maybe take away the name tags, you know, take away what teams are playing. It's a very playable game state. Like I say, he does have the Ags finish for himself. If they get a singular good fight, they could get into the Roche. They could sneak the Roche potentially. Days, he's quite far from his BKB, but at least does have that kind of Soul Ring, Max Toss to farm away. Is he gonna live? EMP?
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
So I've been thinking of a hero concept, Bayo, and it's kind of like Nature's, except your whole team can take the teleport. And also Euclid, and also Stoikov. He dies, so in this scenario, You don't even have to teleport, actually. Mid laner just dies. It's the whole concept of the hero. It actually just kills your mid laner when you pick it. That's full stop. That's the hero. But you know, Chad, he can keep up in tempo with what Ghost has been able to do, and he's kind of been doing it. But it is a far cry from the first game that he had on this Underworld. As he's about 1,000 gold behind where Ghost is, and not quite in that top network spot that he was in last game. And that means that this potential whatever defensive item that's coming out from him, currently it's the Manta that he has queued, but it was the BKB previously, means that it is going to be coming out decently late. So Smail's going to pose a significant threat across the map for a pretty long time to come here.
Mega kill!
Oh no. New? Good toss?
Killing spree!
Good bushwhack. Oh no. Dodging.
Just keeping it loose.
Gets the kill. Ooh.
Out of me.
Get fucked.
Yeah, really strong on Mixa. I mean, already having this blink as well, he is doing incredibly well on this Beastmaster for himself. Very confident as well. That movement was really, really beautiful coming out from him to actually live there in the final bit of that engagement. So it does even things up slightly. Again, despite Nigma Galaxy being so favored across the likes of 1xBet as well, of course, our sponsors for this tournament, but just in this game, you know, the net worth is even. So despite what the odds are telling you, you know, the net worth is even. The fights maybe not as much now that the Tormentor goes towards Nigma Galaxy, you know, goes into Toby's hands, which was nerfed very slightly, but was nerfed. And yeah, one whole percent matters potentially, maybe. You know, the game is still relatively close here, and I think particularly Mixa is the one that is doing so much of that. This Beastmaster is such a significant threat. Good job.
Radiant's middle tower needs some help.
Ow. They're losing their wisdom shrine for it. Oh, I kind of like the idea of that, but really nice read by Nigma Galaxy to just
Dire's
move
bottom
forward.
tower is being chipped away.
Best way to dodge the gank. Just walk into the enemy base. How could they ever expect that?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, that,
All is silence.
Dire's bottom tower needs some help.
that 5 times fast. Yeah, no, Silencer. I mean, especially 2 Lelis has been in some very interesting positions in this game.
Dire's bottom tower is
Sometimes
under
as
attack.
Silencer, you do end up just kind of giving away your life for the cause more often than not. But there's definitely been a few times where
Dire's bottom
you
tower
feel
is
that
being chipped away.
Lelis was a little bit out of his natural habitat, and setting up onto Shad again. No BKB, no Manta. dead. Oh no.
Axes, please! Home amongst your bones.
Story card? Oh.
Unstoppable! Double kill!
Dire's top tower is under attack. Someone better help Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, that he did. I mean, it was also really nice from Omar. He got that max range acorn shot bushwhack. So
Dire's bottom
it's
tower
really
is
well
falling.
played by the side of Nigma Galaxy.
Dire's
But
middle
that
tower
is
under attack.
gut wrenching for OG. They were so close to having this timing where Mixa was going to get into BKB. Setting up as well again on the Shad. Here's a Manta. Doesn't dodge. Oh no.
Going to be sad.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, the global. Blink in.
Middle tower is under attack.
That's BKB. Oh no.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Think so.
Axes going to
Beating on
be
Dire's
sad.
top tower. Are those cracks in Dire's top tower? Dire's structures are fortified. They're beating on Dire's top tower. Dire's top tower is gone. Just a
Seeing these replays, just barely eking out all these kills across the map. The global presence so obnoxious. Obviously, these two supports in conjunction accomplishing a lot, and even in real time on 2 days,
Axes,
Noob does commit the BKB, but gets a kill still onto the Tiny. Days boasting a pretty high amount of
Dire's
kill
top
or
tower
deaths
is under attack.
in this series so far. They've just really had his number. And yeah, I mean, I think that all
Dire's
hope kind of
bottom
went out the
tower needs
window
help.
as soon as that Aegis got
Dire's
snatched.
middle tower has
Potentially
fallen.
kind of maybe a more risky play than OG needed to make, but and they were so close
Dire's
to
bottom
finishing
tower
off that
always
Roche
should
and
get short shrift.
getting that snatch from Noob. Just really well played. Probably one of, I mean, Noob, we've seen, you know, especially in TI, had some very, very good series, but this is one of the better series that I've seen from him. I mean, he's just looked world class in the series. Just doing everything that he needs to on the Slardar. Obviously, I don't think we need to mention that Samael has been a part of 26 kills, but the Slardar has been very impactful around the map. Omar gnawing on the squirrel, a little bit of rage bait. Won't be able to get caught down here, and he's onto a ward. Not again. He's fine, right?
axes, please!
Yeah. It feels. Yeah. Oh no. Mixa, no BKB. Dead again.
Please!
Oh no. This is. Yeah, it's been falling apart, but Mixa was so farmed. I mean, he was 2,000 above, just I think it was about 4 or 5 minutes ago. He's 2,000 above anybody else in the game. Now he is very firmly behind. He was gonna get into that PKB. He's gonna have that Aegis. Just a complete fall from grace. Smail, by the way, max movement speed walking around the map. Could toss him back. Does get Smail.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The seeds of hope.
A little trolling. Yeah. unnecessary. Yeah, not exactly, but you know, this wouldn't be a Nigma Galaxy game if they didn't give you a little bit of of some heart palpitations. Of course, they got to keep things at least a little bit interesting, as they always tend to. Game is still so firmly in their hands, and once that second Roshan comes up, it's hard to see how anything could go poorly in Days. Just a victim is a victim is a victim. Back on Days again. Oh no, Mixa couldn't get the roar. Blinks in, can't get it again. Nothing else. Yeah, it is a dog eat dog world, and I think Days is certainly the runt of the litter in these two games. Just absolutely brutal what Nigma Galaxy has been doing to him back to back. And you know, granted, he does have a lot of burden in these games. It's a lot of times just getting punished for trying to accomplish something across the map. The potential pickoff makes it we'll finally have this BKB, but it does feel a little too late. I'm still quite strong on the Beastmaster, all things granted, but not where he wanted to be at all. And okay, Samael got caught trolling. Oh. Yeah, definitely. Samael, I think, feeling bad for Days, so giving him a little bit of a solidarity in that. But no, I mean, yeah, great pickoffs, great kind of recognition here. Even the smoke, I think, is really nicely done, recognizing the Tormentor is going to be immediately up. They can go ahead and should be able to do it, although they're pretty low HP across all their heroes. But should be able to get this Tormentor. If they want to, the smoke up, I think, was smart, recognizing that very much Nigma Galaxy would want to do it themselves. Ghost is... he's pump faking the TP. Oh no, if he completes this... oh, still go. He's gonna live? Oh no. It's, now he BKBs? Oh. And Ghost goes in. Oh god, balance.
Ooh, Dire's hero got killed. Those Dire's bottom tower is being chipped away.
Toby.
Dire's bottom tower needs some help. Dire's bottom tower has shattered into pieces. Dire's
Definitely annoying to have that evasion if you are Stoikov. Not into that Mjolnir, not yet to deal with even the illusions, so...
That's just cold.
It's just... ugh. And honestly, too, as well, I mean, I kind of like the move to go up towards the Tormentor, but the more that I look at it, I mean, what's even the point? We're taking it away from Nigma Galaxy, as their shards are horrible on their support spell. Silencer Tiny, I think those are the worst duo support shards that I've seen in the game. They're both useless. Entirely useless. Yeah, the gold is nice. I mean, potentially, I guess, but maybe that's just more net worth to get when you do kill off Lois and the rest of OG. It's kind of what it's felt like. And now you can just go ahead and comfortably wait for the Roshan. Notably, this one, I don't believe, I mean, it won't roar for Nigma Galaxy because OG actually did end up getting the kill first time. It was the snatch that came out from Noob, so they can get this Roshan basically whenever they want. They're going to smoke up first. They're going to be responsible. Of course, they can responsibly go ahead and kill Sniper in a singular jump. Good toss. Ooh, chat. Oh, God. They're alive. Toby. Wow.
Killing spree! Holy shit! That's his plea!
Base.
Mega kill!
Oh, Samael. Oh, God. Ooh.
Slide! Double kill! Holy shit! Triple kill!
Victory!
Yeah. That kill participation in the duration of the game that